here's something most people in Dubai don't realize. The adult sites aren't fully blocked. They load, the thumbnails load, the titles load, but the second a video gets explicit, well, the screen blurs and a login button appears. It's not a ban per se, it's a wall built inside the site itself. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to get past it and which VPN actually works in the UAE without getting throttled into uselessness. Now, the link is in the description if you want to look up the deals while you watch, but why does it work that way? The UAE doesn't just block URLs. Etisalat and Do use deep packet inspection, DPI, which means your ISP is reading the type of traffic you're sending, not just where you're going. That's how they can let a site load but intercept it mid-session the moment content crosses the line. Now, a basic VPN fixes this, but not every VPN survives DPI. That's where it gets complicated. Now, the fix for this is routing your traffic through a server outside the UAE before it ever even touches the local network. When you connect to a VPN server in the Netherlands or the US, your ISP sees encrypted traffic going to a VPN server. That's it. It can't read what's inside. The site on the other end sees a foreign IP address and serves content without restrictions. But here's where most people get it wrong. They grab a cheap or free VPN, connect to a random server, and it either doesn't work or drops to speeds so slow the video won't buffer past 2 seconds. I tested this, trust me on that one, on a UAE connection without a VPN. Baseline download was sitting around 53 megabits per second, while the wrong VPN on a distant server that dropped it to under 10. That's not a usable connection for any video. Now, the two that held up were NordVPN and TotalVPN, and they held up for different reasons. NordVPN kept 97% of base speed on a local region server. That's not a rounding error. That is genuinely close to no VPN at all. Now, the reason is NordWhisper, NordVPN's protocol built specifically to disguise VPN traffic so it looks like any old regular HTTPS. Now, DPI can't flag it because it doesn't look like a VPN. That matters in the UAE more than almost anywhere else. Now, on top of that, NordVPN runs RAM-only servers, meaning no data is ever written to disk. Nothing is there to log, nothing to hand over. It's based in Panama, outside every intelligence sharing alliance. 6 independent audits have verified the no logs policy, and if you're in a country where your ISP is actively watching traffic, that's not a nice to have thing, that's the whole point. But here's the thing about NordVPN. It's not the cheapest option for good reason. And if you're someone who just wants access without paying for a full feature stack, then maybe TotalVPN is worth knowing about. TotalVPN runs on Hotspot Shield's infrastructure, which means the underlying network is solid even if the brand is newer. In testing, it held around 92% of base speeds on a Sydney server and 82 on a Los Angeles connection. Those are real numbers for a budget option. The trade-off is jurisdiction. TotalVPN is UK-based, which puts it inside the Five Eyes Alliance. For most people using it to access content, that's not a meaningful risk. But for someone with serious privacy concerns, it is. So go in with eyes open. Now, one thing both VPNs have in common is that they work on mobile. In the UAE, a lot of this browsing happens on phones. Both NordVPN and TotalVPN have iOS and Android apps that take under a minute to set up. Connect, pick a server in a country where the content is unrestricted, Netherlands, Switzerland, US, whatever, you're through. So here's where this lands. If you're in Dubai and you want this to actually work, not sometimes, not on a good day, NordVPN is the one. It'll be consistent. Now, the NordWhisper protocol is the specific reason for that. DPI restraint traffic on a network that's actually using DPI is not a coincidence. It's a feature that you need. Now, if budget is the deciding factor after all, and you're not in a high-risk situation privacy-wise, then TotalVPN gets the job done. You know, it gets you there for less. Both work. One is built for exactly this environment, and if you're going with NordVPN, then use the link in the description. That gets you 74% off plus 3 free months. And then there's also one for TotalVPN if that's your move. The link below gets you 80% off, and both links are in the description, or you can just simply scan that QR code on screen. Now, the sites were never fully blocked, all right? Remember that. You just needed the right key.